So our last panel of the morning is It's Not About Tech, It's About Aspiration. Our moderator, Denise Yohn, has made a business out of telling us what the market trends are going to do, what would be a good direction to take with your brand. She's a brand consultant, and I'm very excited to have her here. Denise Yohn.
Thanks, Julie. I just want to acknowledge Peter Sylvester, who put these great videos together. They're pretty hilarious, I think, to see how far we've come. I like the one with all the jiggling going on. So thank you, Peter. We have the distinct honor of talking to you during lunch, and I'm sure you all are getting really hungry. I don't have food, but I have great products for you to feast on, and so that's what we're going to be talking about for about the next 45 minutes or so. I've got a great panel that I want to introduce to you, and so we're just going to jump right into it, okay? Let me go ahead and I'll give a little bit of background on each panelist, and then if you want to talk a little bit about your product, okay, and then we'll get into questions. So first up is James Park. He's the CEO and co-founder of Fitbit. And James is a serial entrepreneur. Don't hold that against him, right? With a passion for creating great products and great companies. Fitbit is actually the third startup that he has founded. And previously, he was the director of product development at CNET Networks, where he led product management, engineering, and design for WebShots. So James, you want to tell us a little bit about Fitbit?
Yes, so Fitbit is a leader in creating connected devices and services that give people a comprehensive view of their health and motivate people to live healthier lives through fun and engaging elements. We're very focused on creating devices and experiences that are accessible to anyone, not just athletes or gadget geeks. And I think this is demonstrated by our acceptance and popularity in the market. Our tracking products are among the top 50 in the entire personal health care category on Amazon. I think this entire category is really exciting. I think 2012 is going to see explosive growth, and I'm pretty excited to be part of it.
Great. Thank you, James. Next up, we have Justin McCarthy from Garmin. And Justin is responsible for the public relations for Garmin's fitness and outdoor segments throughout North America. He brings a wealth of technical knowledge, as well as truly understanding the mindset of an athlete and what they want, whether it's competing in the New York City Marathon, a trail race, above 8,000 feet. I gotta hear about that. That sounds awesome. Skiing the Rockies, paddleboarding Hawaii. Justin is always in search of his next adventure, and this is his next adventure. So tell us about Garmin.
Yeah. So we're thrilled to be here, first of all, and like James said, we think that 2012 brings a lot of attention to the fitness and wellness tracking, personal tracking space. And with our products, we feel that we have products that not just focus on athletes, but focus on just the general public as well. So whether it's a hardcore runner, whether it's someone who's just going out, walking with friends, whether it's someone that's out cycling, whether it's someone that is using a heart rate monitor for medical reasons. We feel that our products certainly run the gamut, and we have things for everyone, and be able to share all those activities with the world as well. So we're definitely excited to be here and excited to see what the next year brings us.
Great. Next to Justin is Rich Schmelzer, who is the founder and CEO of GeoPalz. And Rich is an experienced high-tech industry entrepreneur, investor, and the founder and CEO of GeoPalz. In his 25-year career, which he started when he was 5, he's credited with creating and leading 4 successful companies, including VR1, a massive multiplayer gaming platform, Sky Connect, the first digital pay-per-view video on demand and advertising insertion company, WorldPrints.com, and Gibbets. So, Rich, tell us about GeoPalz.
Sure. Yeah, GeoPalz is a online game reward system designed to get kids up and off the couch and playing outside again. We try to make it fun, so we let the kids attach it to their shoes, and they log their points every day online, and they turn that into a currency on our website, and they can basically buy prizes and awards, the things that they want to buy. So younger kids get banners that they can print and stick on the fridge, but the older kids can take down Xbox credits, PlayStation, and they can even go to Amazon with their parents and decide they want a bike. They'll walk 2 million steps to get that bike, and then they're able to purchase that after they've walked their 2 million steps. And the data is it's neat too. It can be pushed out. The mom and dad can track the kids together as a family, so they get a full family view. They can compete with themselves, and then other families compete with other families as well. And then we also publish that data out to healthcare companies that are interested in the dependent data. So if there's, let's say, a corporate wellness program and the dad's insured, they don't have any idea what's going on with the dependent data. We push that data through to that employee's plan so they can see the health of the entire company. I'm sorry, the entire family.
Great. And to Rich's right is Stephen LeBoeuf, President and CEO of Valencell. And you know what? These are in order. Sorry, hang on. There we go. Stephen has raised and managed over $4 million in R&D funding and has filed over 45 patents on his designs. Prior to founding Valencell in 2006, he led the optoelectronic biosensor program at GE Global Research. And he has his PhD in electrical engineering from North Carolina State University. Valencell.
All right, so Valencell is a technology development and licensing company. And our first technology that's in the marketplace next year is called V-Link. And what it does, it allows you to accurately and continuously measure biometrics from the ear with your favorite audio headset. And so if you have an audio headset, your favorite one, with our tech in it, in real time, continuously and accurately, it measures a bunch of stuff: heart rate, calories, distance, speed, respiration rate, and more. But we have another level of intelligence on that calculates stuff you really care about, like overall fitness and endurance level and aerobic capacity, your recovery time, your personalized heart rate zone, a bunch of stuff with an audio headset that you wear anyway. And it sends that information to a phone or other digital device and can connect with cool apps that can use that data to help you achieve your health and fitness goals with feedback that's tuned to your own body. And you can check out some of our folks on the treadmill and elliptical wearing our stuff, our prototypes. Look, it's pretty cool. North Hall 3638.
Great. Let's see, I want to talk about Strive. I want to introduce Dave Wang, who's the co-founder and CEO of Strive. He has over a decade of experience leading marketing and product planning of the social gaming, consumer electronics, and semiconductor markets. His prior positions include posts at Booyah, Surf, Centrality Communications, Cisco, and the UC Berkeley Wireless Research Center. Dave graduated from the Stanford University with a dual degree in electrical engineering and management science and engineering. So Dave, tell us about Strive.
All right. Hi. Hello? Okay, cool. Hey, everyone. So Strive is also, I think, part of this exploding category of looking at monitoring and tracking. But I think that, the talk title today, I think, was like Beyond Tech and Going to Aspirations. I think that's at the heart of what Strive is. I think beyond monitoring and tracking, we're about motivating and creating experiences. So we got a Strive right here. This little guy kind of fits on your keychain. Works anywhere in their body, but really it's about creating layered experiences to motivate kind of couch potatoes and the type Bs and Cs. We see a plethora of products for type As who are kind of already aware and cognizant of, I got to be healthy, I got to track, I got to monitor. Strive's about making fitness fun, making it meaningful. We have a lot of motivation elements like a walkathon in your pocket to get you off the couch. We have games powered by activity. And we also have the data and stuff, and it's all in the palm of your hand. So I think like some of the other panelists, we're really focused on, getting people who aren't really technology adopters, but really having a fitness or a kind of motivational tool for the rest of us. And the results have been incredible. And from the analytics, we're just seeing a transformative effect on getting tons of folks who never thought they could work out or exercise back off the couch and really just changing their lives. And it's going to be a fun year.
All right, and last but not least, we have Jim Minarik, Chairman and CEO of DEI Holdings and CEO of Polk Audio. And Jim is a 25-plus year veteran of the consumer electronics industry. Also, he started when he was 5. Jim previously served as president and CEO of Clarion Corporation of America and as SVP of Marketing and Sales at Altec Lansing. Past and current board member roles include Macintosh Labs, Escort Radar, Twin Star Inc., and the Boys and Girls Club of Vista, California Foundation. So that gives you a brief overview of the products and companies that we have here today. And I have a whole host of questions that I'd like to ask the panelists. There will also be an opportunity towards the end for you to ask any questions, so please start thinking about those now, and we'll get to those. But first, I want to start off, and since, Jim, you were last, I want to start with you first and ask who is using your product and how are they using it? Because as the title says, it's not just about tech, it's about aspiration. So we want to talk about the people of the products.
Well, we know quite a bit about that. We launched this product line in the middle of this past year, and roughly 70% of the users currently are males, 30% are females. We're working on getting that more in balance with some new products coming down the line. They have a pretty good household income, median about $100,000. We're really targeting the 20 million or so active, athletically oriented folks in the United States, but what we're really after is creating an aspirational brand, and if I can make a parallel, say, to an Under Armour or something like that, that uses a lot of celebrity athletes and regular athletes, and then when you walk through the airport, you see many, many people wearing Under Armour. So we want everybody to use Polk audio headphones. We're very focused on high-end audio performance in a design that actually lasts and is durable, because sport headphones have basically been a disposable category prior to about the past year.
Great. Let me build on that with a question for you, Dave. So talk about who's using your product and why are they using it? What are they getting out of using your product?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're a little bit flipped with Polk. I mean, most of our users are women, and their median age is 47. So when we created Strive, my wife, we have 3 kids. And in my 20s, I was type A. We're running all the time. And you got 3 kids, you start a company, and no one has time for the gym anymore. Everyone starts, it's like you're getting dipped in candle wax. You get a little rounder every time, and it's just like, wow, how do you have time for this? And so the premise was, my previous company was doing games, like really addictive, compulsive games on like Facebook and on iPhone. And so we're saying, how can we put game mechanics and create a game experience for everybody out there as well? And so, we really targeted kind of busy moms, busy parents who want to just make fitness fun, make it accessible. And instead of motivating them with data and analytics, we thought, what if we motivated them with like real world little things like, cross the Golden Gate Bridge, climb the Eiffel Tower, or have fun games. Or actually we have a walkathon where we're working to give polio vaccines, clean water, and also helping the rainforest. So it's like you're walking now, not because it's just good for you, because you're helping families on the other side of the world. And it's really transformative, because what we found is that fitness and health, it's so fundamentally tied to your personal identity and self-esteem. And so, like, if you feel like you don't have time, you just kind of let this go, and years start to pass, you start feeling like really, really bad. And one thing that's been so delightful and surprising is, like, on Amazon, we just shot up to the top 50 out of like all these sports and fitness gadgets, and it's really cool because you read the reviews and it's over and over. It's like, wow, my husband hasn't like got a pair of sneakers in like 5 years, and now he's actually walking because he wants to beat me on these fun little challenges and games. And I think it's really just changing that relationship with yourself and changing the relationship with their family and using fitness as a vehicle to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, I think, at the heart of what Strive is.
Right, and that actually connects to something that one of the panelists said earlier today when he was talking about adding benefits, so that health, your own personal health and fitness is a benefit, but there are other benefits you can add, and one of them is making it an impact on a cause or a charity. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. James, I want to go to you and talk to you. So obviously the users of these products are really important, and I'm curious if you can tell us a little bit about how you're communicating with these users and what you're learning from them, how you're incorporating the input they have on your products for future product development.
So our current product is called the Fitbit Ultra. It's a small wearable wireless sensor, and you can wear it in your pocket. A lot of our women users clip it to their bra, so it's hidden away, very compact, discreet. And it contains 2 sensors, an accelerometer and altimeter. And what these sensors allow people to do is track things like their daily steps, distance, stairs, floors climbed, and even sleep quality if you wear the device at night. So all this data is getting uploaded to Fitbit.com, where you can compete against friends and family, various leaderboards. But what we're also about is closing the loop on some of the on some elements of your health. So the new product that we're introducing at CES is called the ARIA Wi-Fi Smart Scale. So a lot of what our users have asked over 3 years of
A little Vanna.
having the Ultra product on the marketplace is, well, if I want to lose weight, how do I know that my activity, my food, my sleep, what I've been doing in my health with the Ultra product actually has some effect? So the ARIA scale, it's Wi-Fi. You can step on it. You can actually set up the scale. You don't have to plug it into your computer. You could just fire up your smartphone, your laptop, connect to it directly. There's a web server running on the scale itself. Configure it. Step on the scale, takes body fat, weight measurements, and uploads that through your home Wi-Fi network to Fitbit.com, so you can see a complete picture of your health. And it supports up to 8 family members as well. So you step on the scale, automatically recognizes who you are, and puts your data in the correct place.
Great. How about other of the panelists? Have you been incorporating the input and feedback you've been getting from your products into your product development and enhancements?
Yeah, I think that. All right. That one's live. So we take into consideration, a lot of feedback from both the consumers and our athletes as well. We're fortunate within our cycling line to be the title sponsor of a professional cycling team, and many of the features within our cycling products are from feedback from our professional riders. What we do though is we take a lot of that feedback, and though they have really robust features, we ensure that they're really user friendly, really simple. There's a fine balance between stocking a Forerunner device like Denise has on her wrist right there, and something like that where it's just a one push of a button, it acquires satellite, press start. And then you've got a wrist-based GPS that's going to give you your pace, your speed, your distance, and all those metrics. But I think there's a line, like I said, between putting too much information into one specific device and then having a device that gives you just what you're looking for, just the basics. So I think that's something we've learned from our consumers. That there is that balance between having products available for the hardcore users and then having those products available for the folks who are just looking for raw data, just looking for how far, how fast, or just looking for heart rate. So we like to have those options.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can chime in. From my previous company, we did a lot of social gaming, and so analytics is a kind of a big piece. So the way we look at product planning roadmap is you want to combine the quantitative data of like how are people using it, what are they doing, with all the surveys and user reviews. And one of the big things is that we're finding that people just want to be social. I think the social urge is such a compelling and fundamental thing for motivation. And so like one thing we were announcing at CES is like basically launching in April as well, kind of a full kind of like friends and family social. So all these little guys can talk to each other wirelessly. It'll be really, really cool. But I think like it really is blending the quantitative analytics with the actual surveys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, Stephen.
I think one thing that's really important, especially for a startup company like Valencell, is to focus on what you do really well. So our focus has been to accurately measure stuff off people's bodies, accurately enough to allow people to do cool stuff with it and send it to the app community. So the app community already has some really cool ways of using this information. So we like to focus on our core expertise and then open it up to the other folks who know how to actually use that to make cool stuff happen.
Mm-hmm. And I would think incorporating their feedback to enhance your product, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, great. Justin, I want to go back to something that you talked about when you were introducing Garmin, because I think when we talk about health and fitness products, sometimes it's easy for us to think about that the super athlete or the really engaged fitness enthusiast. And I think the challenge for technology companies is crossing that chasm that Jeffrey Moore had written about. You talked about how the point of greatest peril for tech companies is going from an early market that's dominated by a few visionary customers to a more mainstream market that's dominated by a big block of customers that are predominantly much more pragmatic in their orientation. And so I want to understand, has Garmin crossed into the mainstream? And if so, how you've done that? And can talk to us a little bit about making that transition smoothly.
Yeah, I think that's, I think that I would say we're in the process of making that cross between going after the really niche market of people who are, the 7-day-a-week runners, or the people that are riding, hundreds of miles a week. I think that by showing our products in various use cases has been a biggest benefit. Taking a device that is designed for running, let's say, some of our Forerunner watches, and having the ability to use that watch on a hike with your family, or having it on your wrist and turning it on during a car ride even, and then showing your family or showing your kids how fast you've gone. Even turning it on. We always joke about turning electronics on and off during your travel times in airplanes, and turning a Forerunner on and sitting near the window of an airplane and looking down and seeing that you're going 500 miles an hour is pretty cool to see it on your wrist. But I think that's it's something that we're looking at, and we're in the process, like I said, of making that move to the mainstream. I think that by showing just little bits of data and not overwhelming the end user, giving them what they want, and doing it in a really user-friendly manner is what we've done. And then I think that having more use cases is something we're going to continue to promote.
Right. Great. Yes, Jim. I thought you might have something to say.
Actually, I think in some ways we're going the other way, because headphones are certainly now mainstream. We are the largest maker of home theater loudspeakers, but not too many people today sit down and just listen to music through loudspeakers. It's a lot of home theater business. In the case of headphones, of course, there's 140 million smartphones now. There's going to be 300 million pretty quickly. Everybody listens to headphones. The opportunity we have now, as the market becomes more specialized, is to really target the athlete, the user that wants high-performance audio in a product that's not a piece of junk that you got to throw away within a month or two. And actually, there's a lot of technologies on this panel that we'd like to incorporate, and will in some cases be incorporating into future products. So we're taking advantage of a very large market. The headphone market crossed $1 billion, according to NPD this past year. It grew 30%. So we're trying to focus in on this particular niche and then build our brand and our position from there.
Right. That's great to hear those two different approaches. Dave, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, just to echo. I mean, I think from our side, it's interesting, right? You look at the kind of video game company, the console industry, right? You had PS3, you had Xbox. They were pretty hardcore. Everyone's doing polygon arms race, and you had this thing called the Wii, where the graphics totally sucked, but the experience was incredible. And when I look at, I think, biometrics, analytics, you're going to see a similar bifurcation where you have a lot of products that have sensor list, wha-bam, right? And difficulty and this whole arms race of sensors. But then it's what's that experience that's going to get a 70-year-old grandma and a 6-year-old kid equally excited? And I think if we can solve that problem, then whether it's corporate wellness companies, insurance companies, or standard retail, that's really going to crack the market open. So mainstream's a big deal.
Right. Rich, I want to ask you about the kids market. The statistics are pretty depressing, actually. More than 1/3 of children and adolescents were overweight in 2008 or obese, and childhood obesity has more than tripled in the past 30 years. So sounds like this is a pretty important market, the kids and family. Can you talk about that? Why is it so important, and how is it changing, et cetera?
Yeah, from my personal experience, I also have 3 kids, Dave. I had the fortunate experience of being home for a summer with my kids, and it's beautiful outside. Great day, trampolines outside, the grass is green, and my kids are always sitting on the couch, and it's they're playing Xbox and they're watching Hannah Montana or whatever was in, And I started to sit down with them and watch it, and media's pretty compelling. I mean, it's really good. I mean, if you guys have played Xbox or watched some of these TV shows, they're pretty darn addictive. So I can see that we've got a big battle here. I mean, it's you kind of notice when we were kids, we didn't have Xbox. I mean, we had Gilligan's Island and a few other things. I'm dating myself now, but you know, it didn't keep me in front of the television all the time. So it's we're glued, or the kids are glued to the TV sets today. And yes, they're getting rounder or dipped in wax as a result. So our challenge is how do you engage with children? I mean, pedometers are mainstream. They've been on the market forever. So we're trying to come up with ways that they look at our devices as a game, and we use media as a reward. So if they take their 10,000 steps or whatever the parent-directed goal is, they take those steps, and it unlocks features within their Xbox. It unlocks things within their games. It unlocks the television. It allows them to do texting for 10 minutes. So we see over the next 5 years a trend towards our type of devices kind of controlling the devices that the family use. And it's an important leap that we have to make in the next 5 years to solve this problem.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of people, though, really focused on the kids market, though.
It's a difficult market. You know, it's kids are fickle and finicky, and it's got to be the right look and the right feel and the right touch. Also, when you start to track kids online with their steps and their health data, you've got COPPA compliance issues, HIPAA issues. So it's pretty hard. As a result, we can't turn that data social. If they're part of an aggregate group, like a family or a school that's using our product, they can post that out. But you can't post individual data out about children and let them compete with one another if they're named.
Right.
And kids, if they're 6 years old, they're supposed to use an alias, but they'll use their real name sometimes.
Right.
So it's difficult. I see that's probably why a lot of groups haven't focused on the children's market so far.
So I want to pick up on this theme and talk a little bit more about some of the challenges that you all have faced in entering this market. And Stephen, can you talk about what are some of the issues that you've faced?
Oh yeah, first I want to ask you, man, can you get your GeoPalz to transform? Because I'm so there if they do. But yeah, so at Valencell, I mean, when you want to make an awesome product that people dig, I mean, just a sports headset is hard. I mean, it's got to be comfortable. The sound's got to be awesome. It can't screw up when you sweat. On and on and on. Well, now Valencell comes in and says, okay, we're actually going to shove in biometrics in this. So one of the challenges is when you have a device people are going to wear and is going to be in intimate contact with them, measuring stuff and providing this value to them, it's got to have a holistically good experience. One little thing wrong, I mean, to hell with the accuracy, that's a big problem in and of itself, but it's got to feel good. And so it took us a long time to get that down right to where you could actually have something that would measure what you want, show you what you want, be fun to wear, be able to allow folks like Polk Audio and other audio headset companies to make cool-looking stuff with it, make it not look like an elephant, for example. And this is the type of thing we had to do. And so a big challenge is just, making something fun for people with something they already wear and still digging how it feels.
Right. Other challenges? Jim, yes.
To just pick up on that, Dr. LeBoeuf, as we were developing this product line, I know to many of you it may just seem like you put this thing on your ear, but we worked with an audiologist, multiple audiologists actually, and looked at many, many different measurements over a long period of time, and your point is very well taken. Every tiny 1 part of an ounce matters in these products, and it is quite a challenge to do it right.
Right. Justin?
I think for us one of the challenges within our fitness products is the size of the products, and how the wearability and just when you think of a wristwatch for our running products or for our cycling products even, and you think of something that's thin and something that's small, something that if it's for women, it's something that's maybe more petite or dainty. Some of our first GPS watches were the exact opposite. It was almost as though you had a deck of cards on your wrist. So taking a lot of feedback from customers and making it smaller, making it more of a wearable product where someone didn't just have to use it on a run, and then put it on a desk or put it in a drawer until the next time. That they could wear it throughout the week.
Right. Yeah. James.
Yeah, I think the other challenge that I think all of us face is the issue of consumer and industry acceptance as well. So when we started Fitbit in 2007, I think a lot of people were skeptical as to whether personal tracking or biometric devices would, be even bought by the normal consumer other than hardcore athletes. And so for us, it's been, a gradual improvement over time. Initially, we had to sell the device online, but I think, again, acceptance has grown to the point where all of us are seeing success, and even the Fitbit, as it's in over 4,000 retail locations, which if you told me in 2007, I've been blown away. So I think it's awesome for everybody.
I mean, just, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
go ahead.
So one of our challenges has been, how do you take an accelerometer and make a kid want it, and then price it at $20, $25, so it can be consumed? Because with kids, I mean, ultimately we'd have a Fitbit on all of my kids, but they're going to lose it. So making it at $25 is kind of where we need to be, and it's very difficult to make a product that works with high reliability for $25. So that's been one of our biggest challenges.
And Dave, what about you?
Yeah, I think from our side, Strive, a year ago I was at this panel, and Strive was a PowerPoint slide, just a glimmer in our eye, didn't exist. And so when I look at challenges, it's like multiple layers, right? You say you got to execute the product so you're not going to get crushed, like one of our esteemed colleagues had a bit of a challenge there. Then you got to say, well, you got to get the retailers to go, this thing's really going to sell, and then that's kind of hard. And then the thing is, like, at the end of the day, when people are using it, they got to really love it. How do you convince people to carry around another gadget that's kind of chubby, right? It's not that easy until you actually use it. So it's really kind of multiple layers of risk, but I think in general, as the category gains awareness, and as I think overall this awareness of just fitness, fun, and just mainstream starts catching on, it will hopefully continue to grow with the category.
Right. Well, I want to go to questions, but I want to tell you a little bit about these products, because I've actually had the chance to try them all out, and it's just been really a great experience. And so I wanted to start off talking about Polk, and I've got these headphones. What's really neat about these is I have weird ears. I don't know what the deal is, but maybe some of you can relate. Like, most headphones just don't fit. They don't fit very comfortably. These are great. They they're really snug on my ears. And I do the tie the shoe test, because invariably what happens is, I'm getting ready for my run, I've got all my tech, and then, I need to tie my shoe. And so I go to bend over, and they stay in. And that's awesome. So, down on the floor, you'll see a trampoline. You'll see all these athletes doing all these crazy things with these headphones.
We want you to come down there. We want you to come down on the trampoline,
on the trampoline.
And do some flips.
Not sure about that.
Dude, I'm so there.
Yeah,
I didn't know you had a trampoline.
But, that's to me the torture test, and so I really appreciate that. And I was just, Jim, I thought if I could ask you to talk a little bit about, how did you balance, designing a product that really works like that with the sound, which is tremendous. It's really awesome.
Well, around our place with the sound, and some of our folks are here in the room, I joke that they pay attention to things that your dog may not even hear. So we're intently focused on really reproducing audio in its truest possible form. But there's quite a few athletes in the company, and we went to both our internal staff and families, and we built models and prototypes. As I said, we worked with an audiologist. We looked at everything that was on the market and said, this has to be better. It has to be sweat resistant. There's Kevlar in the cables. There's osmotic screens. They're anti-tangle. They're virtually all 3-button control for iPod, and we were the first to build on our Model 2000 the controls literally on the muff, so that you don't have to look for the cord. You just touch your ear, track up, track down. We spent a lot of time both doing original research and then just practical testing of prototypes.
Right. Well, I've really enjoyed using your product. Want to talk about Garmin. And my thing is that I used to wear a heart rate monitor, used to use my iPod Nike Plus, and then I would go home and I would use my Map My Run to kind of figure out. And what I've loved about this Garmin product is that it does all of that. It's all integrated into one thing. And I just wanted to kind of show you the dashboard that you get after you do a run. It's maybe a little bit small for you to see, but it's just, when a panelist earlier this morning talked about information as empowerment, seeing how my run unfolded really helped me understand how I was performing, and it's helped me improve just in the short time that I've been using this product. There's just tons of data, and one of the coolest things that I wanted to share with you, I'm hoping this video works. Oh, this is the route mapping system that you can use, so you can, if you're traveling and you want to know where is a good place to run, you can kind of go onto their map, figure it out, and then actually run that run. And so it's really helpful to me, someone like me who travels a lot. Yeah, let's see. Hopefully, should it just play? This is like the coolest feature. Hopefully you can see it. It's basically a player that's showing how my run went. And one of the bars is the elevation and the other bar is my speed. And you can see that when the spike goes up at the bottom with the elevation, my speed goes down. So, I can now see where I can improve and really target those areas when I'm running. So I've really kind of gotten a lot of knowledge and education out of using your product. So Justin, thank you. It's really cool. Let's see. Strive. So, Dave, first of all, I have to congratulate you on your packaging. I don't have your packaging with me,
hold it up,
but
he's got one.
one of the great things about Strive is personality. It's got a great voice. It's a fun. From the moment you look at it, it's like a fun device to use, and I really kind of appreciate that. And so,
shameless self-promotion. I'm sorry.
Well, no, but no. So, Dave, your background is somewhat in marketing, so I kind of wanted you to talk about marketing and technology and how you balance those two together.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. Like, you're looking at a budding category that's just starting, and then how do you position within that budding category? It's like you're a fetus. It's like, what's an embryo, and then you want to become like a leg cell instead of a brain cell or something. That made no sense. I'm sorry. But in terms of blending marketing, packaging, and positioning, we wanted to just basically make sure that we got across that the full experience is in your hand. It's easy to use. It's really fun. The big color touchscreen is really our key differentiator. So, we look at the cadence of interaction. It's like whether you're playing a game or doing charities or walkathons or whatever, we just wanted to have that interaction with the user because we thought that was kind of the key to the experience.
Yeah, and I love the voice. Let's do this. It's just great. One of the things that's good for me, because I have a very competitive spirit, is these competitions that you can enroll in. And then also being able to contribute to something that's bigger than myself, so I'm not just being totally self-focused. I'm actually making a donation to clean water cause is really important to me, and using the Strive. Oh, Fitbit. James talked about this, but what's wonderful about Fitbit is I've been wearing one, and you probably haven't seen it, right? I love the fact that it's very discreet and that you can basically wear it wherever, whenever. I also think that what's cool about it is the voice as well. These products work not only because they give you great information, like how many steps you've taken. That day was not a good day. I only taken 700 steps. And my flower, which grows depending on your activity, was very small. But even using a flower, I think, is a great way to motivate me. And so it's not just data, but it's actually kind of a visual incentive. And then I love this, a new feature where when you pick up the product, it tells me, rock on, Denise. And it's just a little bit of motivation. So James, I've really enjoyed using your product as well. And then, and this is like some of this is the dashboard that when you go online, that you can see all the information. And going back to the point about benefits, what's been really important to me about using the Fitbit is the sleep monitoring. Sleep is a big issue for a lot of people, particularly for folks like me that travel a lot. And so being able to monitor my sleep, again, the information has helped me understand what things that I do that tend to lead to a poor night of sleep, how much my husband's snoring leads to a poor night of sleep, et cetera. But again, knowledge is power, and as Jillian said, it's cliche, but it's true. It really has helped me adjust some of my patterns so that I can get a better night's sleep. And then there's Valencell. And I met with the Valencell folks this morning because I really wanted to see this in action. And what's cool about Valencell is their technology goes into any headphone. So basically the sensor is on this part of the headphone, and then it can go, so it's not disrupting your audio at all. So the really cool thing about this product is that it's both audio and metrics all in one. You get that when you're putting it in your ear. And the other thing that I thought was really cool about Valencell was VO2 max. Now, you may not know what VO2 max is, but it's basically a measurement of your aerobic performance or aerobic power. And normally to get a reading on VO2 max, you have to go to a clinic and put on this weird face thing and run on a treadmill.
Darth Vader mask, yeah.
Yeah, and it costs like several $100, and you do it once, and you kind of figure out, okay, well, how well am I performing? The thing with Valencell's technology is that you can get that on a regular basis every run. And so, Stephen, tell me exactly how that works. How are you able to do the...
Yeah, so it turns out that the ear is kind of freaky. It's got all these vessels in it that are in 3D, both capillaries, veins, and arteries, and they all do different things. And so we shine light at the ear, and we basically characterize everything based off that, blood flow. And so we're able to do that in real time and generate an estimation of VO2 max. And it's really accurate. Actually, if you come by our booth, we've got some data to show you on that stuff, too.
Cool, cool. And then last but not least, I want to talk about GeoPalz, and this is my shoe with my GeoPalz. I picked the prettiest one. I have it on now. No, what I love about it is that I love looking at it. That sounds kind of crazy, but if you're going to wear these devices, they might as well add a sense of style and cachet to your outfit. And so I love using it. And then I was able to share the product with some of my friends who have kids in the 5 to 13 age range. Is that correct, Rich? Mm-hmm. And one of them was like my daughter. She's 8 years old. She loves the product. She can't wait to log her steps and figure out what prizes she won. And it's really changed her behavior. Even it was only like 2 or 3 days after we'd given the daughter the product. So I thought that was really cool. And the other thing is that I know that, Rich, you've given this product to a lot of bloggers, blogger moms. And if you maybe could tell us a little bit about some of the feedback you've gotten from your bloggers.
Yeah, it's the blogging community's just been great to us. A lot of mom bloggers out there. So the feedback that we're getting is all these little tests have happened where they'll take it for 30 or 60 days, and they start to talk about their experiences, and then those experiences get shared out. So some of the ones I like are they'll park a little further in the parking lot. I'm always trying to get the space right in front. I'll wait for that spot in front. But now, because of this unit, I now park farther away, and I take my steps, and the kids are doing that as well. So the bloggers are really picking that up and sharing it out, and it's becoming viral with bloggers and kids.
Right. I read one of the blog entries that said a mom actually accidentally washed her GeoPalz, and it actually still worked. So
yeah, I'm sure all of us get washed here. It's
right.
Yeah, it actually came out of the wash,
Yeah.
and it worked just fine.
Great. What questions do you have for these folks? There's a roving mic, if you have any questions. I know I've basically interrogated them, but go ahead.
I'm curious as to, with all the new data that we've been able to track over the last 3 to 10 years, is there any kind of health paradigm that we all believed 10 years ago that's now been blown out of the water?
Question. Go ahead, Dave.
All right, so when we were raising money, like venture financing, every VC said, there's no way to crack the code to make fitness fun. It's not going to be possible, right? There's no way that you're going to be able to have this little device and it's going to completely change behavior. And so when we talked to the head of preventive care at Kaiser, we talked to these guys, and they were saying, like, the baseline of America is here, and to actually change that behavior is going to take this big shift and whatever. And there's a ton of skeptics. And so when we launched Strive in October, and we're starting to see the data come in, that's where we had to double check our numbers, because users were launching this thing like 24 times a day, and they're walking like 3 miles, 60 minutes a day. And there's kind of this up and to the right curve that's just incredible. And so I think that this is the first time where you're saying an experience layer can actually really, truly change behavior for, it's not like you got diagnosed with like heart disease and you have to do this to live. It's just like because it's fun. And that I think is one really interesting bright spot.
Yeah, I've got a comment on this too, actually. I don't know if this is more wishful thinking or if it's more about what I'm seeing in the marketplace now, but one thing we got when we were raising money is first thing a lot of people ask is, how do insurance companies fit into this? I mean, I get that question all the time. And the thing about it is, nothing gets me less excited, I got to say, than thinking of dying grandma, And that's the first thing, unfortunately, I think of when I think of a lot of insurance companies. That's changing now, though. I mean, you look at them. I mean, look at United Health Group. I mean, you see their place out there, you would never know it were insurance. You thought you're going on a safari over there. I mean, that's pretty creative. It's good to see. I also see, though, there's, in parallel with that, which is really encouraging to see, is this consumer-driven approach. Like, I really believe this. I believe one day doctors will say, you'll come in, hey, you've got hypertension, find your favorite V-Link-powered headset. And it'll have, there's a cool app. Maybe it's a Fitbit app. Maybe it's, who knows, that you can use with this, and it'll coach you to better lower blood pressure. I mean, that kind of thing I think really will happen. And that will be actually bifurcated, I believe, from the insurance route. But I'm actually encouraged to see these insurance companies get with it. Humana is another example of a company that was getting with it with, I believe it's MapMyFitness they actually have some products with. And some others, too. Blue Cross, you see that as well with their Blue Points. So it's nice to see that health isn't so much about dying grandma anymore, It's actually, I see some light.
You had a question?
Yeah, one thing I'd like to put as a challenge to the challenge here, I've got 3 boys. I heard, a lot of you have got 3 kids. Don't have hardly any time. Everyone's busy. So if you do an activity together, you want to do an activity y'all can do together. Well, I've got 3 boys, age 18 to 24. Quite frankly, in most sports, they can kick my butt. So I don't want to go out and play basketball with them, So this past Christmas, I took them scuba diving in the Red Sea because, scuba diving is something I can hold my own against an 18-year-old. So I put a challenge to you guys, especially the ones that are doing family fitness. How do you make suggestions to people that, hey, this is something you can do if you got a family of boys and girls or this age, that's something you could do and everyone can have fun, not just, one guy kicking another guy's butt.
I mean, one of our big announcements is this Friends and Family Social, so we thought a lot about this as well. One simple way is just to normalize. So basically, instead of saying, okay, my wife, she takes the kids to the park a lot, so she's like, 12,000 steps a day, right? I'm like a 6,000 steps a day kind of guy. So instead of saying I have to exceed her step count, it would be like, well, who hit their average first? So in the morning, maybe my average is X, hers is Y, but whoever hit it first in the morning, you can kind of use that to normalize the data. The other side is it doesn't have to be competitive. It can be collaborative, right? And so this concept of teams where a family comes together and potentially against another family to see, who can raise more donations. Family Feud, yes, exactly, fitness style. So I think like social has so many moving parts and levers to just create experiences that, are just whether it's competitive, collaborative, or against like, a lot of cool stuff.
Yes, I want to speak to the user initiative in this and ask you, who owns the person's data, and do you back end that data so that users can correlate that with data coming from other devices?
Yeah, so at Fitbit, at Fitbit.com, we collect data not only from our own devices, but from other third parties as well. So a lot of what we do is focused on how do we find the best-of-breed partners that give people a complete picture of their health. So we're integrated with Lose It, which is a popular nutrition tracking app on your iPhone, MapMyFitness, and we have a lot of bi-directional data partnerships because we feel that there might not be one optimized solution for everybody, but people can have a choice to pick and choose and create the best solution for themselves. So I think in the past there's been a lot of vendors who have really closed off their data, but we take an approach where the data that these devices collect for you is yours. It's very open. At Fitbit, we have an API that's public. We have extensive documentation, and we have hundreds of partners already who've tapped into our database for all this stuff.
Those of you that work out, how many use a headset and listen to music? We have concrete research, and there's a variety of sources on this that proves that listening to the right music for you when you're working out improves your endurance and your athletic improvement by roughly 20%. And there are a few specifics. It lowers your perception of exertion. So as you're using all these great tools, if you're listening to music with Polk headphones, you can see the improvement faster. It definitely distracts your brain. The faster the pace of the music, the higher the measured performance. It's actual, it's science, it's not just made up. And it certainly boosts your mood if you're listening to the right music. So I think there's a great deal of monitoring that will be incorporated into things like headphones in the future, but whether they are or they're standalone devices, music plays a big role in improving athletic performance and health.
I'd like to make a comment on the data question that you brought up. And it's combined some information that James was talking about, and also some things that you were mentioning as well. And it's that, when this data that's out there, people are opening up these APIs, and so many different app companies are able to collect your weight, how that's changed, what you've eaten from the food diaries, also your activity, what you've done. When you have all this information, you could do some really cool stuff. I mean, right? I mean, if you know what you've eaten and you know how your weight is going down, you know what foods actually help you lose weight. If you've got one of our powered headsets out there, you actually know what foods make you healthier. And so this type of thing is interesting that's going to happen with the data, and it's going to happen on a broad scale, I feel, because the APIs are open. And so there'll be a lot of interesting experiments where you really are getting a much higher level, interesting things people really, really care about that'll come out of this. So no one really owns the data. The data is kind of a shared space that helps everybody out and can be targeted to you for what you really need.
All right, we're going to wrap up, and I'd like to give each of you all an opportunity to just make a final comment. And there's something that, any words of wisdom that you might lend to the audience, or if you want to talk about what's next. So either one of those, and we'll just go down the line, James, starting with you.
I think the thing is, for us, it's been a long 4-year journey to get to this point. And I think what we'll be seeing in the future are devices that, just amaze people in terms of size, in terms of performance, and most importantly, the user-facing software that's on top that takes all that data and presents it in a user-friendly, motivational way. I think the possibilities are incredible.
Great. Justin.
I think that for us, one of the big goals is to take the intimidation factor away from technology within the fitness monitoring. For us, when we started creating, fitness products, it was solely for the hardcore athlete, and someone who was just a weekend jogger or someone who's just a walker was pretty intimidated by even the thought of putting a device on their wrist that talks to space essentially. You've got something on your wrist that's communicating with satellites, and taking that intimidation factor away and out of the scenario and making it completely user friendly is I think for us a big step in allowing the mass market to see the benefits of our products.
Mm-hmm. I think for the next several years, now that we know what a kid wants to wear, we've engaged the kid. It's figuring out how to keep that kid engaged for the long term. Mm-hmm. And what we've seen is that it's definitely got to be tied into gaming systems like Xbox or PlayStation or Wii. So working with game development companies, so our API and the data flows through to those games to give them secret levels and powers and things that relate to children. So that'll be our challenge over the next couple of years.
I'd like some secret powers. That sounds pretty cool.
I can't even remember what the question was.
Words of wisdom that you might want to share with the crowd, or you could talk about what's next.
Well, I think what's next for me, what I'd like to see is to be in everybody's ears. There's about 7 billion people in the world, and there's twice as many ears.
Wait, can you explain that now? Dave.
That's awesome. For me, I think it's really, incredible because I think consumer electronics technology in general has traditionally been broadcast and entertainment based. So kind of like, letting people relax, letting people kind of veg out and chill. For the first time, I think technology and connectedness is going to actually change people's health and life and improve society. And as an entrepreneur, as a father, it's why I quit my other job, because we were making a ton of money doing games. But for the first time, you can actually have, I think, entertainment and health and really, I think, changing people's personal relationship with themselves and their family. And that's just an incredible opportunity.
Moving away from specifically Polk Audio and just thinking about this, I've been in the consumer electronics business for pretty much 30 years, my entire career, involved with the board here at CEA and on the board. And CEA itself has an incredible sense of what's going to happen. And I remember 20 years ago when we first started talking about high-definition television, and there began to be sessions, and to see this kind of a fitness track and to hear all this great development and hear about the success stories, I think it's pretty obvious. This is a great explosive growth area. I don't know what all of your roles are. There's a great opportunity to make money and really help improve people's lives. The responsibility for our health, I mean, we all know about the health system in our country and around the world. We need to take more responsibility, and I applaud all of you for doing some great things. Thank you.
All right. Please join me in thanking our panelists.